So it's been since last Friday since we, your news leader, first spotted National Guard troops in the city, and we spotted them just walking along Riverside, not really doing much, but the surprising thing was that they were carrying weapons. We didn't think they would be, but the National Guard has been is one of many units that have been sent here as part of this Memphis Safe Task Force in an effort to make the city safer. And in the 17 days since the Memphis Task Force has started, here are the numbers. So get ready for this. 17 days, 978 arrests, 197 illegal firearms seized. And so of those 978 arrests, 2 have been probation, 8 have been homicide, 43 have been sex offenses, 101 have been narcotics, 104 have been firearms, 147. And this comes to us from the DOJ, so I don't know all the details, but 147 of those arrests have been other. So I'm not really sure what those are classified as. 181 have been ICE arrests, and 392 warrants have led to arrests. Out of, you put all those numbers together, you're going to get 978. And the fascinating thing, guys, that I'm really seeing is the response on social media. And we're going to go to the screen share here as I look at a TikTok. I can't really play this because the audio problems aren't compatible. You won't really be able to hear, but this video, I want you to take a look at this on the right. 83,000 likes. You can see the caption, "I feel safe. Thank you, Trump." And it's this woman, D.D. Manning, and the caption is, "Just to be able to sit on my porch and not worry about stray bullets is amazing. Make Memphis safe again." And she talks about just how she wasn't sure about the National Guard. National Guard's here, and she's happy they're here. And she shows the neighborhood that she lives in, and the kids are being able to play outside for the first time in 5 years. This is all according to D.D. Manning, but this has been a video that's been surfaced online. It's been sent to me by multiple people, and it seemed to resonate in the city. Because, again, you look at 83,000 likes on TikTok. That is viral for a local TikTok. And she's not the only one. If you go on TikTok and look at the National Guard Memphis, you're going to see most of the videos have this type of response. People in Memphis glad to see the National Guard in town. And that was something I was surprised to see, as we've seen 978 arrests. And not all of those, again, we don't really know how many have been from the National Guard. With the Memphis Safe Task Force here, we do not have all of the information. We can only get what's reported to us. But the thing I was surprised about was, I did an episode prior to the Memphis Safe Task Force getting here. And again, the Memphis Safe Task Force is made up of multiple units, the Tennessee Highway Patrol, the FBI, all of these. It's about 700 agents and 150 National Guard, so 850 total, sent to the city to fight the city's crime. But these were instances that were happening in the city, under a month before the Safe Task Force was sent here. I mean, look at this. This was a Kroger as these guys go with an AR-style rifles, rob a Brinks truck, get away with the money, and just not even caught. And again, this was a month leading up to the National Guard. We were seeing stuff like this. Look at this shooting, aggravated assault on Front Street. This was, again, a few weeks before the Memphis Safe Task Force arrived. Look at this. The guys get on their car, keep it running. They get out, start shooting. This was the type of stuff that you were seeing, and you're just not seeing it. And I want to be as objective as I can here, because I'm a television news reporter. My beat is mainly crime. And it's been a pretty quiet few weeks as they have been racking up the arrests. And for the most part, people are happy, it seems, on social media, but we have seen the other side and people really questioning if this is right. And most notably, and the thing that has really caught some attention is there are veterans in the city protesting overnight outside the Sheraton Hotel in downtown Memphis. I did the story, first brought it to TV last weekend, and here is their story about what they are saying. These veterans on the National Guard coming to town, they don't like it. So a little surprising here. Shay, good evening. These veterans tell me they don't want the National Guard in Memphis, and they've set up this encampment right outside of the Sheraton Hotel in downtown Memphis. to protest. And Shay, they tell me as long as the National Guard is in Memphis, they aren't leaving. And there's about 20 people here at the encampment, and this tent is covered with military flags from the Marines to the Navy. And Shay, these veterans tell me there is a number of things they don't like about the National Guard being here. They say it's an overreach of power from President Trump. They think it's unfair to the Guardsmen and a waste of their time. They say this is nothing but an intimidation tactic for President Trump, and they say they didn't serve the country to see something like this happen. I spoke with Ben Reese, a 9-year Navy veteran who lives in Memphis and is one of the leaders of this encampment. Ben tells me he agrees that Memphis has a crime problem, but he doesn't see the National Guard coming to the city as the solution.
Yes, I can pull up some guys with some guns and they'll probably stop for a little bit, but what happens when they leave? You know, it doesn't solve the root issue. It's just overspending, it's excessive, and it also erodes trust with the local and law enforcement.
And Shay, you can see this encampment right now as veterans and other supporters have been coming and going all day, but they really emphasized that as long as the National Guard is in Memphis, there will be at least someone here at the tent, saying they're even willing to sleep outside if they have to. So you get the point there. Veterans kind of questioning, is this right to have the National Guard overthrow really the power of local elected officials and come in and really just have, you know, complete power? And you can see this article from the Memphis Flyer. Shelby County Mayor declares state of emergency after Memphis Safe Task Force arrests. Governor Bill Lee said the operation could last forever, and he did say that members of this task force could be here for a little while. And really, Mayor Lee Harris, who is the Shelby County mayor, basically wonders if this is even legal. The emergency declaration, Harris said this week, frees up spending. Harris cited the state law typically only evoked for severe weather, natural disasters, and pandemics to spend money and enter contracts without going through regular process. So you have Mayor Lee Harris of Shelby County. Harris contemplates taking legal action against the task force. A popular elected local official wondering if this is even right. But we did have the biggest news, which has been kind of tough to come by with the Memphis Safe Task Force, is we had the mayor of Memphis, Paul Young, on WREG with our Alex Coleman, as he shared a bit of information you might want to pay attention to. Here is Mayor Paul Young with our Alex Coleman.
A lot of folks will wonder how long are they going to be here, because we heard the governor talking about they could be here perhaps forever. Yeah. Is that what's needed? How do you feel about that?
Well, I think the governor's statement, I think what he was saying is that there should be a long-term partnership. But I think the surge that we're seeing right now, where you have 700 federal agents and 150 National Guard individuals, I think that we'll see that intensity for the next 30 days or so. At least that's how it played out in D.C. And then we'll see some reduction of the level of presence, but hopefully continued partnership on the things that are working, like what I talked about.
So that's the big takeaway, is that you've got 700 federal agents and 150 National Guardmen. He does not expect that presence to continue. And you heard it from that veteran protesting. When these guys leave, is it still going to work? Because right now you got people all over social media, like that woman we showed on TikTok, praising how well this is working. Even the comments, and I'm not going to be, pretending like I don't see the comments. People in the comments and even the polls we run are happy, for the most part, that the National Guard is here, because it really has been quiet. I showed some of those crazy things you see in the city that make headlines. We don't have them right now because it's just not happening. And that's going to be the $1 million question, is when this slows down, will you see the crime pick back up? Will you see the crime pick back up? And that is going to be the really fascinating thing, because the National Guard, the Memphis Safe Task Force, right now, the crime numbers, they are lower. And they really have been busy. 900, I want to get that figure right, 978 arrests in 17 days. The Memphis Safe Task Force has been busy. They've been getting the arrests. And people on social media that live in the city can feel it, and they are praising the Republican Party for their work. But the question is, When the SAFE task force leaves, are the problems going to reappear?